Welcome to Homekeepers. How are you today, friend? I am so glad to be here, and I'm so glad you're there. And if you are a first-time visitor, I just hope you'll stay with us and that you will visit us again from time to time. We're on every day, Monday through Friday, certainly at this time. And so we would just like to really get to know you better. We believe in the American home, which is fast falling apart. It's in a moral free fall. But we are going to do our best to strengthen the homes of America. It's the best society has to offer, you know, to build a good nation on. And today we're going to talk about CellQuest. You know, if you've been with our ministry very long, you've heard about it before. And I just met a young man, Jesse Alfonso, has quite a story about using CellQuest. I want to bring that to you. And also Dr. Jerry Norton is here, who is very much involved with CellQuest, but he's a scientist, and he can kind of, you know, give us the nuts and bolts of some of these things and how they interact with the body, with the cells and so forth, which is so important. So I'm glad to have both of them here. And if you haven't heard about this before, we'll hopefully educate you a bit. But I want to be able to offer you this product, and so we offer it. This is an introductory offer, 3 bottles for $39.95, and you can use your credit card, 1-800-229-0059, or write to us at Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And we'll give you that information again as the program goes along. As I mentioned, I have Dr. Jerry Norton here. I'm going to talk to him first, and then I'll join Stephanie in the kitchen. Oh boy, if you could just smell this place. It smells so good. Banana bran muffins. So it looks like the best recipe we've ever had for any kind of banana bread or so forth. And even Dr. Norton's been wanting some, so I told him if he's a good boy and he'll hang around, we'll give you some. Welcome. It's glad to see you again.
Good to be here.
It's been a while since you've been on the program.
Yes, yes.
But we talk often. And what I wanted to do was just revisit something I think we talked about maybe several years ago even, and that is the fact that the benefit from the tree, now the CellQuest really is from the plantain tree, right? The benefit of the tree itself and not so much the fruit.
Yes, yes. It distinguishes between the fruit, which is, you know, nutritious, gives us energy, cell replacement. But then there's the phytoalexins that gather in the stem of the
what?
It's a general name meaning compounds that the plant produces to defend itself.
From the stem?
Yeah, from the stems. And actually, just briefly, we call it a plantain tree or a banana tree, but it isn't a tree. It's an herb.
Really?
They grow to as high as 20 feet high. And they're not, it's not a tree trunk. It's called a pseudostem, meaning let's pretend it's a stem. Let's pretend it's a trunk. And it's comprised of the stalks, which is like branches, which are twirled onion fashion around each other so that it can stand up straight and strong in the winds. It's a derivative, a botanical derivative of wheatgrass.
No kidding.
Yeah, so wheatgrass, you know, a European
that waves in the wind.
It waves in the wind, and it just, well, it put it in the tropics and it becomes a musa plant.
Is there somewhere in the Bible, maybe you can help me, where it talks about this?
Yes.
Where
healing or yes
can come from the tree, or from the base of the plant?
Well, you know, the prophet Ezekiel, who I consider to be a better scientist than me, he had the right.
Never thought of Ezekiel as a scientist.
He had you know, inspiration. I guess the gift of prophecy. What he said in 47:12 is that you, and I'm not going to quote, I'll sort of do an interpretation of the thing. He said that the 12 trees along the banks of the river representing the 12 tribes of Israel. They produced fruit for the meat, meaning to sustain, to nourish, to feed. But then he said, but the leaves and the stems will provide medicine for the healing of the nations. And these, we believe he wasn't really referring to trees, because if you think of a tree, you think of the apple tree, the orange tree. There's no stems, it's a hard woody trunk with very little fluid in it.
It basically said stems?
He said leaves and branches, I believe, in the interpretation from the Greek, Latin, English. But we believe that he was talking about herbs, about giant herbs, that the herbs produced flowers, and then, but this is a unique herb. The only other thing similar, and not that similar, but similar, would be the aloe plant. The aloe plant has liquid in its branches.
And we know it has healing properties.
Yeah. But the musa plant, namely plantains and bananas, they have enormous amounts of liquid drawn up from the soils. You know how broad the leaves are.
Right.
So in a botanical sense, the leaves expire, or like we perspire, the leaves expire. The sun dries off this moisture, which causes hydrostatic forces to draw even more liquid out of the ground. You know, typically a single plant can have as much as 2 gallons to 5 gallons of liquid in its stems. And what it does is before it starts to produce the fruit, it has to produce a flower, reach fluorescence, and it's at that time that it gathers the minerals and the bacteria from the soil and build up these chemical compounds, its own chemical compounds, that when it's attacked by bacteria or fungus, these compounds combine together, just like the plant had a brain of its own, and said, let's send this combination of compounds down and defend the plant. And they do that. And they defend it from the bacteria. When the job is done, it appears that they then revert to their normal chemical composition.
So would that do the same thing in the body?
That's what we hope. That's what we believe. So our plan is that we want to make the natural products consistent.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest reason that we turned to pharmaceuticals in the early parts of the century was because of lack of consistency. In other words, if you took the willow bark and made a tea from it, which is the same component as aspirin, acetyl salicylic acid, by making the tablet, you could give a person the exact amount, 50 milligrams or whatever size you want it to be. But with the tea, you know, taking the bark, well, you never know, do you have enough of the active ingredient in there or not? So pharmaceuticals became a refinement of the natural sources.
Yep, and people tend to go overboard today. We just have a couple minutes left, and I was trying to think of the people I've had on the show. People who said CellQuest helped them with fibromyalgia, with hot flashes, and let's see, there was one other, and then we've had people, who took it while they were being treated for cancer. Does CellQuest, like it says, does it go right to the cell? Is that the
we believe
whole idea?
We're presently developing the science, but we have to be careful. We don't make claims about anything. And even the things we would make claims of, we've got to back it up with actual tests and science. And we believe that the product is very rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream. Something like alcohol is immediately resolved through the mucus layer of the stomach. We haven't got
hopefully more beneficial.
Proof of that. Yeah, more beneficial. But we're working towards this. This is the theory, and we hope it proves one day to be true.
We've had some excellent testimonies on here, and as I mentioned just a little later in the program, Jesse Alfonso had just met. he wants to talk about what he believes this product did for him. We are out of time. You know, I need to have you on for 30 minutes sometime because
I'd love to come back.
when you get a scientist on, it's a good opportunity to learn. But I want to put the information again on the screen for CellQuest, and if you'll just call 1-800-229-0059, you can order it, and we'll get it right out to you. Also, you can just write to us at Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758, and we'll get it out to you. And I've joined Stephanie over here. I was trying to think, I kind of forgot the name of it. It's whole grain banana muffins. I think Deborah Ray would be pleased with this.
I think she would be happy.
Because we have done naughty recipes before. Yes. Okay, you're going to have to help me with this because this is whole wheat flour, which I use almost exclusively in my house because I don't.
Much better for you.
And this is supposed to get oat bran. I couldn't find any anywhere, and so Wanda told me get oats and put them in the food processor. And so that's what this is. This is our version of oat bran. And this salt, a little salt.
Well, half a teaspoon of salt.
Baking powder.
Baking powder.
A tablespoon. And just a little bit of sugar.
Quarter cup.
Quarter cup, that's nothing. Okay. And then
the cranberries.
Yeah, it calls for raisins, but I wanted the pretty ones. So, okay, now she's just beat up or smashed up 3 bananas. You take it from there.
And I have some sour cream. And some low-fat yogurt.
My audience knows I think my most content moments is with a really good muffin and a cup of tea, or good quick bread.
This one sure smells good. We got maple syrup in it.
Yeah, Dr. Norton was kind of, I told him, we'll give him one.
Yeah.
Applesauce.
Applesauce. And a little vanilla.
You know, this is a pretty good sized recipe, and I would imagine you could just put these in a bag and freeze them.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
That'd be good. So we're just gonna mix the wet and the dry.
Did you just dump that in here? Okay. And we have some regular size, but we're going to do these in the little baby muffin pan.
And you can do pecans or walnuts. We have walnuts.
It's a very, very nice
Thick batter.
You know what was weird about this recipe? It called for 2 teaspoons of egg whites. How would you do that? So I talked to Wanda. You know, this girl, she knows a lot too. And Wanda said just put 1 egg white in it. It'll bind it together.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Thought maybe 2 might be a little too much liquid. What do you think? Here you go.
So we'll just put them in the little one.
I'll switch places with you because I got to
Here's a
try
plate for
one.
you.
Got a mess here. Out of the way. Get one out. Ooh, they come right out. Beautiful. Just beautiful. What if you could use this just in a quick bread and a loaf?
Definitely. Needs a little longer to cook if you do that. Is it good?
It's so hearty, yeah. All that good. Try it. I just need my tea. Some good. I got peach tea upstairs, and mandarin orange.
And tea from Africa.
Yeah, I do. I have some tea from Africa, so I'll have to try that. Let me say, you do want this recipe, and it's called Whole Grain Banana Muffins, and we'll be glad to send it to you. The information for that is coming up on the screen, and we will get it right out to you. And I would suggest just make the whole recipe. If you use the small ones, just freeze them, and you can pull them out as you need them. Okay? And I am going to go and have a conversation with Jessie, and I think you'll enjoy meeting him too.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, please send your request along with a gift of $5 or more to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, we have offered this product, CellQuest, for several years. Have had some very strong testimonies from people who believe it made a whole lot of difference in their health, and most of them began to take it and use it when they had cancer. And this is the story of Jesse Alfonso. I'm so glad to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
And you received the news that you had a very serious, aggressive cancer when you were only 20 years old.
Yes.
Can you describe what that's like when they give you what they call the C word?
Well, yeah, the news is terrible. First of all, I had my entire family in the room as I was receiving the news. And not so much for myself, like I knew that it could be something that's terminal. Mm-hmm. It's like you said, it's almost like the C word. It's a bad word, you know, to hear that word cancer. So it's very hard to deal with at a young age. But having your family in the room as well, it was terrible, you know, because I saw their faces. I've never seen my father cry. It's the first time I've seen him cry.
Really?
Yeah, and that just tore me apart. But I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. I had level 3B. If you know anything about how the levels work, it goes from 1AB to 4AB, 4AB being terminal, so I was very advanced in this cancer. Cancer was very advanced within my body. They biopsied one of my lymph nodes, and that's how they found out what I had. Still have the scar here on my neck till this day. Mm-hmm. And basically at that time, it's like you said, it's terrible news, you know, but all the while going through that, my family was in a terrible financial position. They were losing their home, their cars, and thank God through my brother-in-law, which is now my brother-in-law. At the time, he was just dating my sister. Mm-hmm. He introduced me to this product called CellQuest.
Do you have any idea how he knew about it?
I knew he was within the pharmaceutical realm. I don't know exactly how he found out about it, but I'm sure he's from the Tampa area, mm-hmm. and so I'm sure he heard of the good things this product was doing. And he actually printed out a ton of information for me to read while I was, you know, laying in bed, and I was going through it all, you know, absorbing as much information as I could to attack this.
When you went to the doctor, were you not feeling well? Had you felt sick and you knew something was wrong?
Yeah,
because cancer's a thief. You can have it quite a while and have
exactly,
no clue.
And that's the thing. I had no clue. I thought maybe I just had the flu or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was very achy. It was weird. My skin was very itchy. The thing that really got me was the dramatic weight loss. I lost like 40 pounds within, I want to say, maybe 2 months, like a month and a half. And I was having severe night sweats, severe back pains, and that's because of the swollen glands in your body. Mm-hmm. And it just triggered my back pains and the weight loss attributed to, you know, the night sweats. I was changing clothes 4 times a night. I mean, I was drenched, like if I jumped in a pool. That's what it was like. And my mother actually forced me to go because I was like, you know what, I'm fine. This is like a flu. It's no big deal, you know, I'll get over it. And she's like, no, you've lost a lot of weight. I've never seen you like this. Because I've always played sports, always been very healthy, you know, big, strong guy, you know, and she just saw me dwindle away. So she took me in and they ran a bunch of tests. At first they didn't know what was going on. And finally they biopsied one of my lymph nodes and they came up with the diagnosis, which was Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Now, first of all, they told you this is not good news, and then the first line of defense was chemotherapy, right?
Correct. And I was basically, to be honest, I was scared into it, you know, because I read about this product and I said, you know what, I've always liked to go the alternative route, you know, which is holistic medicine. It's all natural, it can't harm you. And chemotherapy, although it does help with the cancer, it helps eradicate the cancer, but it's also destroying your body.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, you lose your hair. I mean, it's very hard on your veins. Your veins become very like glass-like, and after a while, from using that vein, they can no longer use that vein. So they're looking for, you know, spots all over your body to find a good vein. So that's very painful as well. But through the CellQuest, I found while I was taking it. At first, I didn't believe it, that it could work the way I read it on the papers, but I put it through my own trials. I drank it, started drinking it.
What did you have to lose,
Yeah, exactly. I go all out, try it. I said, I'll do the chemotherapy and I'll do this as well. And maybe it'll help counter the chemotherapy's effects, which it actually did for me. I started to lose my hair, I was patching up, started taking CellQuest, it stopped immediately. And I started to regrow hair.
Falling out?
Yes, I started to regrow hair. And also I noticed a difference in my appetite and also my strength. Little by little.
Was that almost immediate after you began to take it?
I want to say not immediately, like one day to the next, but I want to say within a good 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, right away I started to feel, I'm feeling a little better, I'm a lot stronger. Although when you do the chemotherapy, it knocks you back down,
right.
But it helps you recuperate that much faster. So it worked great, like hand in hand, I believe. But here's the thing with CellQuest, I actually weaned myself off of it because I wanted to see if maybe it was just the chemotherapy that I was getting such great results. And when my tests came back, they came back with terrible results.
Because you stopped
I stopped using my CellQuest. And
Interesting.
then, I put myself back on the CellQuest, which I was going through about a bottle a day. And my test results came out great. And I was like, wow. Like I can't believe this, So of course I stayed on the CellQuest. And my doctor had no clue why,
He didn't know you were taking it?
Yeah, exactly. 1 week I had these results, and the next week I had great results. And one thing I can say, there was a young man that was there as well at the League Against Cancer, which they helped me out due to my financial situation. He had the same exact cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, level 3B. And this poor guy, they were upping his dosage and upping it because he didn't know about
chemo.
Because he didn't know of the CellQuest. And I tried to talk to him about it, and it's very hard to believe,
Yeah.
People are like, well, I'm not too sure. And it's like the proof is in the pudding. I'm showing them the results,
Yeah.
I'm looking great. Half the time I'd show up and they were like, who are you here to meet? They weren't sure, they weren't sure if I was there for therapy or, just hanging out. And
How many rounds of chemo did you have?
I had chemotherapy for almost about a year. But the test results came back within, I want to say, half a year. I was totally clean of cancer. There was no trace of cancer within my body. And that poor guy, he was still doing treatments. I mean, God knows how long after I had left the treatment center.
Yeah. Now, I'm pretty familiar with the CellQuest and the story, so I can't prove anything.
Right.
But a lot of times the viewers want to know how much to take. How much did you take?
What I took was for 300 days, I took a bottle a day. That's what it basically recommended when you're at almost a terminal state. I basically was at a terminal state.
Now, people are going to say, that really costs a lot. It doesn't cost us a lot as medicine.
Right.
I mean, when I see what some people pay, just going to the drugstore for stuff, it's really not.
Well, when your life's on the line, you figure,
and you look
figure
great,
it out.
And you have wonderful hair.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Did it come back a different color or anything? Sometimes
just a bit darker. It was a bit lighter, but I'm just glad I have hair. Just it makes me feel good.
Yeah. Now, how long has it been? You were 20. How long?
Yeah, I'm 30 years old now, so it's been 10 years. Still going strong. I was actually last year I played for the Yuma Scorpions, played professional baseball, which was my dream because cancer kind of put that on hold. And,
I was so thrilled to hear that God let your dream come true in spite of all of it.
Exactly.
How has it changed you? Because I believe that when these things happen, that God has a purpose, and that it probably, to be 20 years old and basically get a death sentence, you view life differently now.
Absolutely. We all go through trial and error still, but it helps you combat that, and know that, one, I'm a big believer. I believe in God, so I believe that He always has my back, no matter what. Because I was at that point where nothing can help me, and miraculously this product's in my life, and I'm here, and I'm talking about it and helping others. So that may be my purpose right there. You know, I thought my purpose was to be a Major League Baseball player, and I reached that level at, you know, somewhat I got there, you know, play professional baseball,
That's
which I'm happy
wonderful.
with, and
Yeah.
I'm moving on to bigger and better things.
But you know something else I noticed, and we're almost out of time, but when you talk about your 4-year-old daughter, this is such a hypothetical, such a what if, but do you think you look at her differently than if you hadn't gone through this? I mean, how can you know, really, because you were 20
Right.
then, you're 30
Right,
now,
exactly.
but I still believe that this experience makes you grow up. And,
Oh, definitely. You start to, in a way, realize that material things aren't all what they're cracked up to be. You know, your life can go at any moment. You don't know when. You don't know the time nor the hour. So you want to make sure that you live life to the fullest and you take care of those around you. So, you know, like my daughter, for instance. I just want to see her flourish. You know, and have a beautiful life. That's all I worry about. It's just being next to her and knowing that I'm there backing her, and whatever it is that she wants to do.
Well, I think your enthusiasm for life and all you've been through is just so enhanced by the experience. And trust me, today, you've encouraged untold thousands of people. I'm so glad that the Lord brought you this way, and hopefully we can offer help to others. Let's put up that information for SellQuest. That's our offer on Homekeepers. Is the 3 bottles for $39.95. Call 1-800-229-0059 if you use a credit card, or write to us at Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. And I do want to thank you so much for watching, for the wonderful, faithful viewers we have. Haven't met most of you, but I will say this, that the contact and the letters and so forth really makes me feel like you're my best friend. So thanks, and please join me next time, remembering there's absolutely no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you would like a video copy of today's Homekeepers program for just $19.95, call 1-800-229-0059 for credit card orders, or send a gift of at least $19.95 to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Be sure to note the program number which appears on your screen.
My name is Joanne Bunson. For years, I would read the Bible, and I would always have questions. I would want to know, why did they do that? And then when I got an answer, I'd want to know, well, what does that mean to me? And how will it affect my life and my relationships? Well, I'm privileged every day to teach for a half hour on this network in a program called Digging In. And what I found is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with all of you who have those same kinds of questions.
Do you have a passion for souls? Would you like to join Daniel Kalenda and Reinhard Bonnke and experience a great gospel campaign in Africa? Then enter now to win an all-expenses-paid missions trip with Christ for All Nations for you and one family member or friend. Don't miss one of the most astounding gospel events of this generation. Just click today and enter to win the missions trip of a lifetime.
As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. John chapter 15, verse 9. Today's encouraging word has been brought to you by your friends at the Christian Television Network.
The following program is sponsored by Friends of Life Outreach International. From the depths of despair, a family looked beyond their loss.
A lot of things were broken.
Everything ruined.
Those family heirlooms were just globs of paste that you just throw out in the trash.
Everything that had meant something about our lives was destroyed.
See how a couple's sacrifice in their time of need is saving the lives of children in Africa. Next on Life Today.